The US and China have opened a new front in their trade war, this time on the high seas. Both the nations have imposed extra port fees on shipping firms after Beijing tightened rare earth export controls. Amid rising tensions, President Trump and US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent have struck a hopeful tone ahead of upcoming trade talks, raising cautious optimism that Washington and Beijing can steer their rivalry towards dialogue. DD India's Nishchoy Roy reports.
The world's two largest economies once again locked horns, this time on the high seas. The United States and China have begun imposing additional port fees on ocean shipping firms, targeting vessels that carry everything from crude oil to consumer goods. The move has opened a new front in the intensifying trade war, signaling that both nations are willing to extend their economic rivalry beyond tariffs and technology. The escalation follows Beijing's decision to expand export controls on rare earth elements, a critical component for global industries ranging from electronics to defense.
I can tell you it was highly inappropriate for them to announce these export controls on the day that the peace deal was announced and overshadow that.
While China maintained its dual stance, vowing to continue the tariff fight if provoked but keeping the door open for talks, signs of cautious optimism emerged. President Donald Trump's conciliatory remarks and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's assurance that the upcoming US China dialogue remains on track helped lift investors' sentiment, with Wall Street closing sharply higher in the previous session.
The Chinese economy is doing very poorly, and maybe they're trying to take focus off of that. They purchase Iranian oil, and we have been calling them out on that. So maybe it was to distract from that. And three, maybe it was a mistaken attempt to try to gain leverage before the two leaders meet in Korea in October. And I can tell you, trying to get leverage in front of a meeting with Donald Trump is a bad idea.
As the tensions simmer and talks loom, the coming weeks will test whether Washington and Beijing can steer rivalry towards dialogue or risk turning economic brinkmanship into a deeper global confrontation. Nishchoy Roy's report for DD India.